Yes, Inkobir PS, do you hear me? Yes, sorry, huge network problem today. Let's proceed. So these are the points that we will discuss today. These are the points. Remember these points. So what are the cartilaginous joint? Directly answer should come. Primary cartilaginous joint and secondary cartilaginous joint. Primary cartilaginous joint and secondary cartilaginous joint. What is the another name of primary cartilaginous joint? Synchondrosis. Synchondrosis. And secondary cartilaginous joint? Symphysis. Synchondrosis and symphysis. So please switch on your video, everyone. So look at these slides. Look at the slide. So this is primary cartilage joint. Almost 5 parts contain this question. What is primary? What are the characteristics of primary cartilage joints with their distribution? And what is the another name of primary cartilage joint? So it is synchondrosis. Synchondrosis. So look at these pictures. Follow the cursor. It is one segment of bone, and this is another bone. As you know, cartilaginous joint. Why it is called cartilaginous joint? Because the bones are binded with each other by cartilage. It may be hyaline cartilage, it may be fibrocartilage, whatever. So this is two segments, one segments of bone, another segments of bones. So these two bones are binded by a plate of hyaline cartilage. So it is the first characteristics of primary cartilaginous joint. Primary cartilaginous joint. So bones are binded by a plate of hyaline cartilage. Second thing, these hyaline cartilage, studio tomorrow, Subhash Kumar Yadav, Subhash, stay in the class. So this plate of hyaline cartilage is temporary in nature. That means with the advancement of age, this hyaline cartilage will convert it into bones. That means two bones resembles a single bones, gradually converted into a single bones. That means again, so two bones are articulated, binded by a plate of hyaline cartilage. This hyaline cartilage is temporary in nature, and today or tomorrow this will convert it into bones. That means though there is no gap in between two bones, no joint cavity, so no question of movement. So movement will not allowed in this joint. This joint is called primary cartilaginous joint, but allow no movement. So what is the aim of these joints? Your direct answer will be to help in the growth process, helps in the growth of the bones. So answer is given. So it is a temporary joint. Look at the points. Bones are united by a plate of hyaline cartilage. Then this hyaline cartilage is temporary in nature. This hyaline cartilage is temporary in nature. No movement occurs. No movement occurs. Primarily designed for bone growth. So what is the aim of primary cartilaginous joint? To production of movements? No. Helps in bone growth. Helps in bone growth. So answer should come. Helps in bone growth. So remember these characteristics. And these are the distribution. Today to memorization. Look at the distributions. So tell me the sites, tell me the joints who are primary cartilaginous in nature. So number one, first, একটু খেয়াল করো, ribs means costo, anatomical term is costo. Cartilage is chondro. So there are various types of joint here in between ribs and cartilage. So it is called costo-chondral joint. And this is sternum. So this joint is called chondrosternal joint. So look at this joint, aromarteria. It is first costochondral joint. First chondrosternal joint. Look at here. First chondrosternal joint. It is primary cartilaginous joint. First chondrosternal joint, primary cartilaginous joint. Mind it. And all other, all without any exception, all costochondral joint, all costochondral joints are the examples of primary cartilaginous joint. So what are the distributions of primary cartilaginous joint? Can you tell me the some example of primary cartilaginous joint? Yes, it is first chondrosternal joint and all costochondral joint. Now simultaneous answer. So second chondrosternal joint, third chondrosternal joint, fourth chondrosternal joint, all other chondrosternal joint will be plain type. Will be plain type. Mind it. Will be plain type. Do you get it? Faroja Khan, do you get it? Yes, sir. So first example, first chondrosternal joint. all costochondral joint, primary catenaria joint, and the most important one. These answer every examiner eagerly wait to hear this answer. So, what is the nature of the joint in between epiphysis and metaphysis? So, the joint between epiphysis and metaphysis is primary catenaria joint. So, joint between epiphysis and metaphysis or epiphysis and diaphysis, similar thing. As you know, metaphysis is nothing but the upper end of the diaphysis. You are so mature. So, আমি একটু স্পিডে যাচ্ছি. So look at here. So joint between epiphysis and diaphysis are the examples of primary catenaria joint. At last we have got 3 points. So first, chondrosternal joint. Always should remember all costochondral joint and joint between epiphysis and diaphysis. Do you get it? Abhishek Kumar, do you get it? Yes, sir. So primary catenaria joint gone. Now secondary catenaria joint. Questions are similar. Distribution and features or characteristics. So what is the another name of secondary catenaria joint? It is symphysis. It is symphysis. Another name of secondary catenaria joint is symphysis. Symphysis. Another name of primary catenaria joint is synchondrosis. Remember this. So this is symphysis. So what will be the characteristics? Please concentrate over the monitor. So it is one bone and this is another bone. As the common characteristics of cartilaginous joint, these bones will be banded by cartilage, either hyaline cartilage, either fibrocartilage, or both. It is the common characteristics of all cartilaginous joint. But we are discussing here secondary cartilaginous joint. So what are the features of secondary cartilaginous joint? Remember always. So the bones are cartilage. Look at here, one bone. This is another bone. So first, look at the monitor. Look at the monitor. First, articular surface of the bone is covered by hyaline cartilage. H indicate hyaline cartilage. So articular surface of the bones are first covered by hyaline cartilage. Then extra piece of white fibrocartilage is placed in between hyaline cartilage. This is the most important. That means in secondary cartilaginous joint, bones are binded together by presence of both hyaline cartilage and fibrocartilage. Mind it. Whereas in the primary cartilage, only by hyaline cartilage it is connected with each other. Clear? So both hyaline cartilage and fibrocartilage present in secondary cartilaginous joint. So second characteristic gone. First, articular surface of the bones are covered by hyaline cartilage. Then extra piece of white fibrocartilage present in between them. Third point, you know all, everyone. It is permanent in nature. Permanent, never converted into bones. It is permanent in nature. And it allows few degrees of movement, little movement, and passes throughout the life as it is a permanent joint, isn't it? So remember these points. So look at the characteristics. Articular surface of the bones are covered by hyaline cartilage. Then fibrocartilage is placed in between hyaline cartilage. Limited movements occur, present in the midline of the body. Joint persists throughout the life. Said Jahidanam. Do you get it? Matranaro. So remember these points, at least 4. First, articular surface is covered by hyaline cartilage. Then white fibrocartilage in between them, usually placed in the midline, and little degree of movement. And it is permanent. Nikhil Panjiar, সুন্দর দেখা যাইতেছে। তো ফ্যান্স কাট রাখছে আর কি, অসুবিধার কিছু নাই, ভালো দেখা যাইতেছে আর কি, ভালোই লাগতেছে। সবাই কি বলে, সবগুলো মোটা হয়ে গেছে আর কি। আমাদের তামিম তো অনেক মোটা হয়ে গেছে। So let's proceed. So what are the examples of symphysis? That means secondary cartilaginous joint. So what are the examples of secondary cartilaginous joint? Look at here. It is menobriosternal joint. The joint between menobrium and body of the sternum. Commonly secondary cartilaginous joint. Midline. So menobriosternal joint. Symphysis pubis and intervertebral joint. So I have provided again 3 examples under the heading of secondary cartilaginous joint. Menobriosternal joint, intervertebral joint, and symphysis pubis. In the primary cartilaginous joint, first chondrosternal joint, all costochondral joint, and joint between epiphysis and diaphysis. So at least remember these 3. So you should remember these 3. Faisal কি অবস্থা? কথা বোঝা যাচ্ছে? মাথাটা নাড়াইলে হবে, হ্যাঁ। Let's proceed. So what are the difference between primary cartilaginous joint and secondary cartilaginous joint? What are the difference? I think you should make it. You should make it. So here in the primary cartilaginous joint, bones are binded only by hyaline cartilage. In secondary cartilaginous joint, bones are binded by both hyaline cartilage and fibrocartilage. First. Second thing, in the primary cartilaginous joint, this hyaline cartilage is temporary in nature. Today or tomorrow it will convert into bones. But here it is permanent in nature. Then few example. Another thing, there is no movement allowed in this, but little degree of movements allowed in this joint. Abdur Rahman Faisal, do you get it? Yes. So let's proceed. Look at the chart only. চারটা পড়তে থাকো আর আমি তোমাদেরকে দেখতে থাকি। ডিফারেন্স গুলো দেখো। কয়েকটি টোকেনের মধ্যে এই কোশ্চেনটা আছে, ডিফারেন্স বিটুইন প্রাইমারি এন্ড সেকেন্ডারি ক্যাটিলাজিনাস জয়েন্ট। গট গট করে বলে দিলা, তাহলে শেষ। সাদিয়া সালসাবিল স্টিল হয়ে আছে নাকি সে মুভমেন্ট করতেছে? একটু মুভমেন্ট করেন, হ্যাঁ, তাহলে বুঝতে হবে বাটপারি করতেছেন না আর কি। আফরিন আক্তার জ্যোতি একটু মুভ করেন, হ্যাঁ, আপনাকে তো দেখি না, ক্যাম্পাসে আছে, আপনার তো দেখা যায় না, সবাই মোটা হয়ে গেছে, ডায়েটটা কন্ট্রোল করলে হয়ে যাবে। ফাইমাল রাজি কাছে আছে কিন্তু সে, তাকে দেখা যায় না। দীপ সমদ্দরও মোটা হয়ে গেছে। তানিয়া মেহজাবিন বুশরা তো ফাইটে যেতেছে, মোটা হয়ে গেছে। নিশিতা দেবনাথ মোটা হয়ে গেছে। মির্জা নয়ন, সুইচ অন ইউর ভিডিও, দেখি তোমার কি স্টাইল। মির্জা নয়ন, সুইচ অন ইউর ভিডিও। So these are the difference. Let's proceed. So this is epiphysis and this is metaphysis. So the joint between epiphysis and metaphysis is primary cartilaginous joint. Primary cartilaginous joint, mind it. Clear? And the joint in between two pubis, symphysis pubis, secondary cartilaginous joint. একটা দুইটা করে মনে রাখলা, বিলিভ মি, একটাও বলতে পারে না, তাই বসে আছি প্রাইমারি cartilaginous joint, আকাশ থেকে পড়তে থাকে। তো কপালটা তাড়াতাড়ি একটু ঝামেলা হয় আর কি, খারাপ হয়, একটু মাথায় রাখলে আর কি বিষয়গুলি, কয়েকটা মনে রাখার চেষ্টা করলাম। লেটস প্রসিড। একটু কনসেন্ট্রেশন দিতে হবে। এটা এখানে একটা কোশ্চেন আছে ইন দ্য টোকেন, देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन ইন দ্য টোকেন, intervertebral joint. I think you know, whenever you will find the term intervertebral joint, directly your answer will be secondary cartilaginous joint. But believe me, concentrate over me, intervertebral joint means not only the joint between body of the vertebra with body of the another vertebra. So please give concentration here. So the joint between body of two vertebra, it is secondary cartilaginous joint. Mind it, you have to clear in front of the examiner. But the joint between superior articular process and inferior articular process is plain type of synovial joint. Mind it, the joint between superior articular process of above vertebra, inferior articular process, খেয়াল করতে হবে, inferior articular process of above vertebra, superior articular process of below vertebra is plain type of synovial joint. Not only, it is not complete till intervertebral joint, all joint in between two vertebra, it is spine of one vertebra, this is spine of another vertebra. These two spine are connected with by supraspinous and interspinous ligament. I think you know it, ligament and flava and then on kitchen. So this is fibrous joint, fibrous joint. So in between two vertebra we have find three joint, body, secondary cartilaginous joint. Articular process, plain type of synovial joint. Spine with spine, fibrous joint. Rafael Jamil, do you get it? Yes. So look at here. So in between two vertebra there are three types of joint: body, secondary cartilaginous joint; process, plain type of synovial joint; spine, fibrous joint. Mind it. So I think it should be clear now. So মাথা খাটায় বুদ্ধি করে আনসারটা দিবা আর কি, আবার নেট ঝামেলা করতেছে। So look at the point. What is synostosis? What is synostosis? Synostosis is nothing but the conversion of hyaline cartilage into bones in the primary cartilaginous joint. This is synostosis. That characteristic is called synostosis. So the process by which gap between two bones ossifies and bones become a single component, it is called synostosis. So synostosis is a character of primary cartilaginous joint, routine character of primary cartilaginous joint, isn't it, Iram Fatima? Synostosis is a routine characteristics of primary cartilaginous joint. Mind it. Only in primary cartilaginous joint this synostosis takes place. Your answer will be no. So what are the other types where synostosis takes place? And this is this cranial sutures. So in the cranial bones, we have find sutures. Sutures in the advancement of the age after 60 or 70 years, it may be converted into bones. So what are the sites of synostosis? Commonly primary cartilaginous joint. You know it. But what is the? Give me another joint who undergoes synostosis. Your answer will be cranial sutures. Cranial suture. Taslim Hussain, do you get it? Yes, sir. So let's proceed. So another joint, fibrous joint. Fibrous joint. So what are the characteristics and types of fibrous joint with their examples? Fibrous joint. Fibrous joint. Here, the binding materials will be fibrous tissue. Bones are binded with each other by fibrous tissue. Fatima Tasnim, do you get it? Yes, sir. So bones are joined by fibrous tissue. There is no bony cavity. So if there is no place, if there is no space in between two bones, so there is no question of movement. Though there is no space, only filled by fibrous tissue, no chance of movement here. Mind it. If you are given a question, fibrous joint will allow no movement or suture allow no movement. Why? Because there is no space in between two articulating bones. All the space are filled with by fibrous tissue. So how it will produce movements? So bones are joined by fibrous tissue. There is no joint cavity, allows no movement. Allows no movement. So what is the aim of this joint? Again, helps in bone growth. In the sutural margin, along the sutural margin, cranial bones growth take place. So what is the aim of primary cartilaginous joint? Aim is to help bone growth. So what is the aim of sutures? Helps in bone growth. Mind it. Mind it. So what are the types of fibrous joint? I think you know suture, syndesmosis, and gomphosis. Sutures, syndesmosis, and gomphosis. Sutures, syndesmosis, and gomphosis. Remember this. So types of fibrous joint: sutures, syndesmosis, and gomphosis. Look at sutural ligaments. Must know sutural ligaments. What is the name of the binding materials in gomphosis? Periodontine ligament. Periodontine ligament or periodontal ligament, whatever. What is the name of the binding materials of the syndesmosis? Interosseous membrane. I think you know it. Interosseous membrane. Interosseous membrane. So let's proceed. Sutures. Sutures. So bones are bound together by fibrous tissue. There is sutural ligament. No movement. Only helps in bone growth. And synostosis may takes place here at the old age. So these are the characteristics of sutures. Sutures. Mandate. তো মনে রাখবা চোখে দেখতে থাকলে তোমাদের তো পড়ানোর কিছু নাই, কপাল ভালো হইলে অটো পাস হয়ে যাবে, আমাদেরকে ফেসও করতে হবে না, অসুবিধার কিছু নেই। দোয়া করতে থাকো। রাসেল তো ফাইটে যেতেছে, আম তো নাই, খাই কিসে, কমনা খাইতেছে সে। So syndesmosis, look at the monitor. Syndesmosis, bones are bound together by connective tissue fiber, and this is called interosseous membrane, and it is the most movable fibrous joint. Mandate, most movable fibrous joint. Out of the fibrous joint, syndesmosis moves one joint that has movement. So syndesmosis allow movements. Mind it. The most movable syndesmosis is tibia fibula. Compare karo, if you compare with each other. If you compare with each other. So read the monitor only. So read the monitor only. So syndesmosis, then bones and interosseous membrane. This is medial radioulnar joint. Medial radioulnar joint is a variety of syndesmosis. Superior radioulnar joint, medial radioulnar joint, inferior radioulnar joint combinedly produce a movement. What is the name of that movement? Pronation and supination. pronation and supination. So this is syndesmosis. Now gomphosis, very important জয়েন্ট। এটা যদি অ্যান্সারটা ভুল করো তাহলে কিন্তু ঝামেলা হয়ে যাবে পরীক্ষার মধ্যে, বলে দিচ্ছি। only one example, the socket between the socket of maxilla or mandible with the root of the teeth, with the root of the teeth, it is gomphosis. Is it mobile joint or not mobile joint or less mobile joint? Mind it. So it is a no movement allowed in between root of the teeth and socket. নড়লে তো দাঁতে পড়ে যাবে, আবার থাপ্পড় দিলে মাঝে মধ্যে পড়ে যায় আর কি। So this is root of the teeth and socket of maxilla and mandible, and the name of the ligament is periodontal ligament. If this ligament become loosened, your tooth will be movable. It may be due to disease process or maybe any injury purpose. তো ভুল করা যাবে না, ভুল করলে দুষ্টামি করলে যে এরকম হবে আর কি পরীক্ষার মধ্যে শেষ ঝামেলা হয়ে যাবে। তো থ্যাংক ইউ, আজকে এই পর্যন্তই ছিল।